Hey everyone, how's it going? Brian here with another Java game programming tutorial. So the last time we left off, we, did some stuff, and I asked you guys to vote in a poll on what we were going to work on next. And if I remember, I will edit in the results on the screen right now. You should be able to see the results of the Patreon poll. For those who missed it, you can vote on patreon.com/indieprogrammer. And to those that did vote, thank you very much for taking part in democracy. At the time of recording this, the U.S. Primaries just happened, so it's a good time to vote, guys. And this is an important thing to vote for, what we're going to work on next for our game. So the results happened to go with the Tower Picker UI as in improving that. Right now, we're kind of just drawing over these top left two squares with our towers, and they're, I don't know, not looking that great. It looks almost like the towers are active right there, and I imagine if some people have a maze or a track. I just realized how bad my maze looks. It's like there used to be a smiley face here back in the good old days, and now it's just a weird, I don't know. But if people have like their maze up here, it could be obscuring the enemies below it or even the towers below it. So if I were to take this and place it right there, you could see, oh, that's interesting. I did not expect that bug. If you place it on a tower, it also activates the tower for that. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but we can work around that. So we're going to work on, for the Tower Picker UI, is out of the three options, this, in my opinion, is probably the most difficult. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Don't be afraid. We'll get it done. But it is going to be a little daunting to some. We're going to be working in these three classes here. Our game class, a little bit. UI class, we're going to do a lot of work in here. And button class, we're going to change just a couple things to get it to work with our new UI methods. So it's going to take multiple videos, I imagine, to get... I mean, obviously, we're going to work on our UI for the duration of us working on the game, and we'll continue to improve it. But what I'd like to do by the end of maybe 2 videos, this being the first one, is have a Tower Picker UI that is not there when you don't need it there. So really, it's not even on the screen, and if you put your mouse over there, maybe it'll drop down or maybe it'll just appear, and you can use the towers from there. This video, all we're going to do is we're going to create a framework for a menu, and we're going to add these towers to the menu, and then draw it, pretty much make it look like it works right now, or make it look like it looks right now currently in the game, but underlying, under the hood, the framework will change and allow it to be more easily manipulated in the future. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up our UI class. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make a menu subclass. So far we've been making classes inside of our data package here, and our helpers package, and our UI package, and I've debated whether or not to make this menu class in the UI package or within the UI class. The way I currently see it, no other class will need to access it except for the UI. So a menu, in my mind, the way we're going to tackle this problem is by creating a quote-unquote menu. And all a menu will do is it will be a holder for multiple buttons, pretty much like our UI is right now. As a button list, it can draw the buttons, but the menu, we're going to actually strip the UI of some of this stuff. I think we're going to get rid of the button list. We're going to make a menu list to kind of just further extrapolate. Is that the right word? We're going to make a list of menus, and then each of those menus will have their own list of buttons, and they'll also have some, some good math there to automatically adjust the buttons accordingly on the screen. Like right now, we're manually setting the X and Y of these buttons up here. So this one's 0, 0, this one's 0, 64, or 64, 0. A menu will be able to automatically place those buttons. So we'll just say menu, add a tower button, add a tower button, add a tower button. It'll automatically space them out like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to make a menu inside of the UI class. So right before the last bracket, which closes the class here, we're going to say public class menu. And just open bracket. It's not a method, so you don't need parentheses there. And this pretty much just imagine we're in an entirely new file right here, like a new class. So at the top, we're going to put our variables. We will need a private array list of type button. Oops. And I will name it menu buttons. We will need an X and a Y and a number of buttons. What do you want to name that? Button amount. Do we already have that somewhere? No, good. All right, so the button amount is the number of buttons that we have in our menu currently. So obviously in the future we will add more variables to make our menus super customizable, like background textures will be pretty easy. Maybe next video we'll do that. Width and height to, custom scale it. This menu is going to be the size of our entire screen, and it's going to start in the top left corner. Very basic. But in the future, say we have a tower here in the map, and we want to upgrade it. That's something that I think we'll add in the game eventually, where you can click on a tower, and then there's like a, stats like damage, range, speed. You can upgrade stuff or spend money. That'll be a smaller menu. So we'll have a custom menu for that with width and height and so on. But for right now, we're just doing a very basic menu to hold our tower picker buttons. So we have our list for buttons. We have an X, Y, and an amount of buttons in the menu. Now we're going to make our constructor public menu. Ooh, an important thing too. Since our UIs will likely have multiple menus, like say one menu for picking towers, one menu for upgrading towers, one menu for options like volume and resolution, pause menus, we will need to name our menus, just like we name our buttons. So put a string name, and because I like to have it at the top, I'm going to put it right there. So now when we make our menu, we are going to need a name, a X, and a Y. And we can just start our menu at 0 button amount, so then to put that in there. And obviously just set this dot name equals name, this dot X equals X. Am I recording? I just got really nervous that I didn't start recording. Okay, I am. All right, great. Name equals name, X equals X, and this dot Y equals Y, and this dot button amount equals 0. Okay. After that, we're gonna make some methods for our menu. The first one obviously will be to add buttons to it. Public void add button. And should we just take we'll just take a straight up button there, button B, and we will add that to our menu buttons list. Menu buttons.add B. And we're going to also change the X position of these buttons based on how many buttons are currently in our menu buttons list. So once we get B, before we add it to our menu buttons, let's take B and set its X position to X, which is the starting X position of our menu, plus button amount multiplied by tile size, which is the current size of all of our buttons. So that very easy line there just increments the position of each button. Every time we add a button, the next button will be one further along, because we're going to increase the button amount every time we add a button. Make sense? Hope so. After that, we're going to make a quick draw method, public void draw. And this is pretty simple, just like our UI. We're going to draw quad text. Oops, we should actually do it for each button. So for button B in our menu buttons, draw quad text. And what do we, I forget what we need for this. B.get texture, B.get X, B.get width. And do we need an X and or a, oops, I'm sorry guys. I'm like trying to think ahead here. I haven't used this method in so long. X, Y, and we could just honestly, it's gonna take this right here. We have it right up here. So I'm just gonna copy and paste that. Texture X, Y, width, height. All right, I was right. I just don't want to type it out. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to go to our game class here, and we're going to use our new menu setup here. First, let's go back to our UI class and make a couple quick adjustments. We're going to make a private array list of type menu to hold all the menus we're going to make, and we'll just name it menu list. And when we first create our UI, we're going to initialize that variable menu list equals new array list of type menu. Okay, and where we draw, we're actually going to we have a couple options here. We can have the UI still be able to make one-off buttons. Like say there's, I don't know where this would be, but say in our screen we have a screen where there's only one clickable button, one or two, and you don't feel like making a menu to hold them or they're in separate positions. We can allow the UI to do what it's doing currently and just make buttons without the use of a menu, or we can get rid of that and have it all streamlined through our menu subclass. I think we'll just leave it as it is now, and then in the future we may get rid of this button list and just replace it with a menu list. But for right now, we're not going to use it anymore. So we're just going to say for menu M in menu list m dot draw. Okay, and what is the public type? What? For menu M in menu list. Why did this all of a sudden? Oh, I didn't do brackets? I missed a bracket? Or do I have too many brackets? Oh my gosh. Alright, hold on a second. Okay. That was an unnecessary cut because I just stared at my screen for a few seconds and deleted that last semicolon right there, or bracket. Alright, so that works. The reason I got confused is because we used to have this inside brackets of our draw right here. So we have draw for the method, and then for menu M, use the menu draw method, and the menu draw method just draws all the buttons inside of the menu. So now let's go back to our game class, and in our setup UI method right here, I'm going to comment these out because we're not going to use that right now. Instead, we're going to make a new menu. So tower picker UI dot, oh, that's right, we need a method to do that. So let's go to our UI class and make a method to create a menu. We'll do it right above the draw method. Public void create menu. It will need a name. It will need, let me scroll down here, an X and a Y. We are going to add a new menu to the menu list. Menu list.add new menu with name, X, and Y. Great. We also need to get our menu too. So while we're in the UI class, let's do that. Let's say public menu get menu, and we will take a name. And what's the easiest way to do this? We'll say for menu M in menu list if name dot equals M. We need a get name method here. Bear with me here, and we'll go over and explain what this is all doing. So back in our menu subclass here, we need to make a public string get name method in order to return our name. Return name. And now back up here, the method we're working in, if name dot equals m dot get name, then return m. Otherwise, return null. Okay. So what that does, if you can't see right away, is it searches all the menus in our UI, which right now is just one, so it's kind of a little too extreme for what we need here. But if we have multiple menus, it'll search every menu based on its name, which is its identifier that we give it. And when it finds that menu with that name, it returns that menu so we can start doing stuff with it. So back in our game class, we're going to make a menu. So tower picker UI dot create menu. It needs a name, which I will call tower picker. In fact, we'll probably rename our tower picker UI to just a regular game UI, and then you have each menu be kind of more specific. But in the meantime, tower picker is the name of the menu. It's going to be at 0x and 0y, and we're going to add buttons to it. Now, the way we add buttons is going to seem a little redundant at first. It's going to be longer than these lines up here, but I think it's the right way to go in the long term. We can also shorten it eventually, like how we used to have a draw quad text or quick draw, or like load texture and then quick load. We can probably shorten it in the future. But for now, tower picker UI dot get menu. And we're going to look for the tower picker menu, which we just created. And then we're going to add a button to it. New button. And we can just take this stuff right here. Boom. New button. Texture. I don't know if we want that. Texture, X, Y. What is this other one? Canon blue. Let's go to our button class. Name, texture, XY with name, texture, XY. New button. What's wrong with this? Oh, we need to import it. That's weird. Oh yeah, because we weren't using that in the tower picker UI. All right, got it. So let's go ahead and import button. Make sure you import the one from our UI class, not the default Java button up there. And now you should get a great big error, which probably is because of string int not defined. String int. Are you? Oh, texture. Gotcha. So yeah, because the way we add a button is different in our menu as it was from our UI, we need to change a couple things here. So instead of just the texture name, we're going to use quick load, and we might change it back to just the texture name, but right now we're just trying to get it on the screen here. Quick load, Canon Blue will be Canon Blue full. There we go. I said it'd be longer, it's longer. We can shorten it, but right now we're just trying to get it on the screen. We can copy paste this entire thing right here. Whoop. Copy that. Paste it right here. And change it from Canon Blue to Canon Ice. And Canon Blue full to Canon Ice full. Make sure you have these two textures. You might not because these are the two that are on Patreon here. If you don't have these two textures, then just use any of our other great textures or ones that you made. The base will probably work Canon Ice base or Canon Blue base or the gun. Up to you. But just know you might not have these textures unless you are on Patreon. So we now added our buttons, and you can see already how it's a little bit different. First off, this one up here, we had to manually set the X. So this was 00, this one was 64.0. In this case, we set the X in our menu, so we just have that zeroed out there. In fact, we can probably make a new constructor for the button that almost like a quick button, like I was talking about earlier, where we don't even need an X or Y, because these are going to be completely useless. They're going to be based on the menu's position. But again, for now, we'll just keep it here and see if we can get this to work. So to see where we're at so far, why don't we just run the game and see if we get any errors and see how that works out. Okay. So we have no main menu buttons. I'll be honest, I was not expecting that to be a thing that happened. Oh, but okay, let's see what's going on here. Null pointer exception UI Java 74. Oh, it's because we got rid of the buttons that we were drawing before. So we were using our UI class to draw our main menu buttons, what I'm understanding here? Yes. Alright, silly me. I was a little too excited to get rid of the old antiquated way of drawing in the UI class. So let's go to our UI class and we're going to draw those buttons again. So for button B in button list, what do we do? B.update or B.draw? B. What do we do, guys? B. Dot. Do we have to manually do something here? Let's go to my menu class. Bear with me while I figure this out. Public menu. Update buttons. If mouse. Blah blah blah. Draw. Menu UI dot draw. And then update buttons. Oh, so we were drawing. We were getting all that stuff in here. Okay. For button B, we're gonna do a draw quad text from B dot get texture. B dot get X, B dot get Y, B dot get width, and B dot get height. And that should have everything working again. Okay, we got buttons. Now let's see if the game runs. It doesn't, but that's okay because we were expecting that. Null pointer exception at 76, line 76 of the UI. We're in the UI, line 76, menu buttons dot add B, add button B. We're getting a null pointer from our menu buttons because we never initialized it. So inside of our constructor here at the very bottom, after we set the button amount to 0, we're going to set this dot menu buttons equals new array list of type button. There we go. Now let's see what happens next. Play. Line 26. This is a lot of the way I code, really, is just kind of getting the basics done and then just seeing where the errors lead me to get it all working. A null pointer exception, mouse tick at X, and B, it's trying to see if, oh, okay, let's go back to our game class here. What's happening is we are checking this stuff right here. Through our Tower Picker UI, we're doing the is button clicked on stuff that doesn't quite exist here. Because the buttons don't exist. So, what's an easy way around that? We don't need the main menu anymore. Okay, cut forward to now. All right. So the... Wow, I was not prepared to be cut forward to at all. I was just kind of thinking out loud there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to fix this error by... Right now, see what we're doing is we're searching for buttons that don't exist in the UI class per se. They don't exist in this button list. When we first started this episode, our buttons would be added to this button list, but we're slowly kind of phasing that out. And so we're in an awkward position here where we're half using the button list still to check our collision, quote unquote, with our mouse. And we're half using our menu list to deal with actually displaying the buttons on the screen. So I said we go forward towards progress and phase out the button list even further by copying this isButtonClicked method into our menu subclass. So let's go ahead and copy this entire thing here. And we're going to get rid of it in the UI class probably eventually, but we'll just copy it, leave it there, and we will put it right above the draw method. IsButtonClicked. But instead of looking in the... This button be that get... Oh, wait. All right, we will also copy the get button right here. And we will, I promise we will clean this up in the next video where it's a lot shorter. Because we do have the same methods now twice in this single class file. So right below IsButtonClicked, we're going to add the get button here. But instead of looking through the button list, we're going to look through the menu buttons. Okay. Now let's go back to our game class here. And Tower Picker UI, we can actually put after this dot, we're going to say dot get menu, just like we did before. And we're looking for the Tower Picker menu. And then we can say IsButtonClicked, right? Did that work? Cool, I think it worked. Let's add that same thing here, that dot get menu to right here. So now instead of TowerPickerUI.isButtonClicked, it's TowerPickerUI.getMenu, TowerPicker.isButtonClicked. And again, I know it looks longer, and we're going to shorten it, but we're just kind of making it all fit into our menu right now. And then we'll go back and clean it up. So let's try running this again. That should get rid of our error, hopefully. Play. Okay, cool. So like I promised at the beginning of the episode, it's not very exciting looking based on what we started with. But now we have both of these towers in our menu, in one collapsible menu, which we can easily add more towers to. In fact, if you just copy this right here, copy it a bunch of times, it should automatically space out these towers appropriately like that. So it's really easy to add buttons like that. Also, some simple math we can add, well, maybe not super simple, but some math we can add next video is making a separation integer, which if you don't want them exactly like right next to each other like they are right now, we can add a, arbitrary number to kind of separate them out. Or we can make menus of a certain width, say from like right here to right here, and automatically space them out appropriately within that width. But yeah, at any rate, we have created a menu subclass for our UI, and we've kind of glued together some code to make that work. Next video, we're going to spend time cleaning up the UI class some more, so that we actually got the functionality, the very, very base functionality in the game. We're going to go back and clean it up and make it a lot more efficient. We're at over 100 lines here, and I think we could definitely shorten that quite a bit in the next video. Also be aware that these new buttons we added right here really quickly, they won't work unless you set up the mouse clicked right here. So I would also like a way where we can just combine this with this to just have one line where it creates the texture as well as the function of that texture. So I think we'll do that next episode as well, or at least start that. Okay, well, thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you all next time on Indie Programmer.